Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to look at leader storytelling and some things that are particularly required at the moment by leaders. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Sora, your corporate coaching and training guy, the president of Dale Carnegie Train Japan, a best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan, no longer in lockdown, but now experiencing what looks like the second wave as cases have increased. Now, this podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. As we all know, it is different here. If you've got feedback on the show or preferences about potential future topics and leadership comments, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast. Here's our daily lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan Series. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and my new show on Saturdays, the Japan's Top Business Interviews. Now, before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is, if you want to ask someone, do you remember we did so-and-so together, or remember we went to so-and-so place together, you just say, oboiteru, oboiteru, oboiteru. Do you remember that? Oboiteru, oboiteru, oboiteru. If you told someone something and you want to make sure they remember it, you say, oboiteru, oboiteru, oboiteru. Of course, this is incredibly informal. This is sort of language you use with your friends or your family. Never, ever use this with a client. Very, very informal way of saying, do you remember? Oboiteru, oboiteru, oboiteru. This is episode number 363. And we are getting very close to celebrating 7 years of this podcast. That will be next week. Woo! Nearly 7 years. Incredible. Anyway, today we are talking about seize the moment with your leader storytelling. COVID-19 has changed the world from a personal health risk point of view and has also trashed industries, careers, and livelihoods. This is not the time for leaders to be simple observers of the meltdown, but to be collectors of stories from the devastation and the rising phoenixes. These stories can be for those rallying the troops moments, or for public consumption in the wider world as you detail your organisation's saga. This crisis has a lot of dramatic tension bound within it, which lends itself to great storytelling material. So, let's make the effort to carefully collar what is going on around us. Typical business storytelling will have the hero's journey and the trials, tribulations, and triumphs therein. If this isn't a time of trials and tribulations and hopefully triumphant organisational survival, then I don't know what is. It is easy in theory, but harder in practice. We can be swept up in the maelstrom of each day's specific challenges and not be awake to the legendary dramas being played out around us and to us. We must embrace these stories because they will be the source of powerful memories and emotional connections for many people in the audience. In the COVID-19 catastrophe, the heroes come under tremendous stress and strain. The opposition, obstacles, threats, and their own personal frailties are all exposed. The heroes set about ensuring survival of the business. They gradually turn the problem around as rivals beside them succumb and go into ignominious commercial oblivion. We need to be keeping track of these exploits for future storytelling reference. The daily newspaper is full of stories every morning, but it ends up ferrying the fish bones and potato peelings to the trash can. We need a more permanent snare of what has taken place day by day. Within the team, there are those who have stepped up and carried the banner aloft under tremendous pressure. We can't let those efforts go unrecorded and just be allowed to join the forgotten fish bones and carrot peelings. We need to be creating the narrative arc of the journey as the heroes learn and innovate as they push forward. They take blind alleys and make choices that don't work out, but these tough times add to the credibility of the story and the retelling. The higher the walls in front of the team, the greater the kudos for managing to scramble over the top and keep moving. The bigger the failures, the larger and more valuable the lessons in the recounting. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, both online and in the classroom, and we also do custom programs online and in the classroom, and we do them in Japanese, we do them in English. Today's show is sponsored by these programs. On the 12th of June, Managers Matter Even More. Managers Matter Even More. A relationship-centered approach to engaging employees in tough times. That is an online and free program. On the 19th, we have Goal Setting and Accountability. That's an online program. On the 19th, also in the classroom, we have Leadership Training for Managers. It's a 3-day program. And on the 23rd of June, we have another free program, How to Present Online. Now, our website is full of very useful resources. Go to enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning and watching video, we've got over 960 at Japan Dale Carnegie TV on our YouTube channel. We're releasing 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premier business show in Japan, comes every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Master Show. And now on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs right the way through to corporate captains of industry on leading in Japan. Get my book, Japan Sales Mastery. That's the Bible for selling in Japan. And my other book, Japan Business Mastery, also available on Amazon. Welcome back. Audience emotional resonance with the heroes is relatively easy because this virus enemy is instantaneously threatening the whole planet. Everyone will remember what they were doing, how they were feeling, the losses suffered, the drama, the dangers and the close calls. Those listening to your story will quickly identify with the struggle and the people involved, becoming engaged in a way that is usually very hard to achieve. Cause and effect is how we define what we know to be true in the world. This thing happened and set off this reaction, which led to this outcome involving these people. The leader's job is to refine our understanding of what has been happening and why we are getting the outcomes we've been seeing. This needs intellectual, analytical work, written records, observations, snippets of dialogue, blogs, podcasts, video records, all become the historic archive needed by the leader. It sounds easy enough to do, except when you are in the middle of the disaster, it is hard to distance yourself from the business carnage going on around you. Nevertheless, the lessons being learnt need capture. The stories involved need to be told. The examples must be assembled and the raw emotion of today conveyed. COVID-19 is throwing up the material for 1 billion blogs and thousands of scholarly tomes on leadership. We are in the moment. We are the wartime correspondents, capturing what it is really like in the front line and understanding how people feel about being so close to the end of their business world. We must emerge from the turmoil with insights which we can convey thereafter in stories. People thrive on and learn through storytelling. And here we all are, leaders during COVID-19, placed at the centerpiece of the unfolding story. So, as leaders, we need to add yet another ball to our juggling act. We need to be a character in the play and also be the playwright, capturing the details of the drama as it envelops us. Maintain high vigilance for elements of the hero's journey, both good and bad. We will come out of this dazed and dusty, but also armed with pertinent and poignant stories to use in guiding the team. We need to be able to tell the story of how to survive a once-in-a-lifetime business Armageddon. Write it all down now for later use. It will be a treasure trove, of hard-earned lessons, wisdom, and practical insight that most others will have thrown out with the fish bones and gorbor peelings.